Hi, I'm Nadia, and I call myself the Portuguese Cowgirl because I'm Portuguese and I live in the wild, wild west in Texas, and I thought it would be fun to start maybe documenting my life as a stay-at-home mom of 3 rowdy boys. And today, there's one of them. He's crazy, he's out of control. But today I'm going to make a pumpkin crunch cake that I saw on Facebook. It looked really good, and every Saturday night we have family night with our entire family. Every single Saturday night. And it's pretty awesome. So I am in charge tonight, excuse me, of making the pumpkin crunch cake because that's what I volunteered to make. So here we go. These are all hand-picked Texas pecans. Pecans, how do you say it? I don't know. I'm originally from Massachusetts, then I moved to Florida, now we're in Texas, so everywhere I go, it's different. So half the time I say pecans, half the time I say pecans, whatever. Aunt, what's the difference? So I am going to chop these in my little handy dandy chopper. That should be good. I've never made this recipe before, so I really don't know how small I should chop the pecans. Over here, get my little deals out for my mixer. So it calls for a can of canned pumpkin. Watch out, baby. We're gonna do that. Yes, I like a hand crank. It's easier. And this is Pioneer Woman because she's my role model for all of this. Alright. If I could have everything in my kitchen with Pioneer Woman's logo on it, I'd be a happy girl. Okay, so we got a can of pumpkin in there. Here comes another one of my rowdy children. What? What?
Look at their hair.
Oh,
it's
my.
Beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Trolls from like what? When were trolls in fashion? Like the 70s or 80s? Thank you, Nana, for the trolls.
Thank you, Nana, for the trolls.
Yeah, leave it to Nana for all those hippie toys. All right. So, 1 can of evaporated milk is what the recipe calls for. So we got that. Now, 4 eggs. He likes pecans. Oh, he said pecans. He said pecans. Did you guys notice? Alright. Dois. That's Portuguese. Okay. Três.
He's not eating one.
What is it?
Quatro. You know, if you get shell in anything, all you have to do is take a clean edge of the egg. Oh, it's way deep down in there. Let's see if we can scoop it out. You just take the edge. Oh, took some pumpkin with us, but I got the shell because we don't want, it's pumpkin crunch cake, but we don't want eggshells.
Pumpkin crunch cake.
So, can of pumpkin, can of evaporated milk, 4 eggs. And now we're gonna do the salt and the spices. Usually for the base of recipes, like the important stuff, I follow the recipe. When it comes to the spices, I kind of do my own thing because that's what I like to do. So it calls for, I think, let's see, 1 teaspoon of salt. So what's a better measuring cup or spoon than your hand? So that's what I do. If you want to get exactly a teaspoon, obviously.
Hold on.
No!
That's life, people.
Really? Are you still filming?
Yeah.
Alright, good. Okay, so now 1.5 cups of sugar. That's a lot of sugar. We have a lot of diabetics in the family, so as much as possible, I always use stevia. always. So I got this stevia at the store, and it measures cup for cup. It calls for a cup and a half of sugar. So I'm going to use a cup and a half of the stevia because that's what the bag tells me to do. So this is probably going to be pretty sweet because stevia, I find, is a little sweeter than sugar. Okay, so there's the stevia. Now the spices. It calls for like a teaspoon and a half of pumpkin pie spice. So I'm going to use a tablespoon. Maybe not a full tablespoon, but I really love pumpkin pie spice.
Get out, monkey.
Anything that I can eat?
Okay, so. Come here. You're crazy. Get down.
Okay, do you have any?
Okay, so.
Do you have any
They'll probably get
toys
right back
that I
up
can
there.
play with?
Alright, so I'm going to just pour some pumpkin pie spice.
There he goes.
So it's not really a full tablespoon. It's like maybe 3/4 of a tablespoon. And then it called for a pinch of clove. So I'll just do a little shake of clove.
What?
That's good. Now I'm going to add allspice. I love allspice. It's just going to make it a lot more rich and depth. This is a little bit of ground ginger. Now we're going to mix it all together. It's a little liquidy, so liquidy and powdery. Oh, heavenly. It smells like Thanksgiving. I love it. All right, let me look at the directions real quick. All right, so let's take this. You can edit all this out.
Yeah.
So it calls for a cup of butter. I've got 2 sticks of butter here. I'm embarrassed to show you this carton of eggs because we have chickens, but our girls are on strike right now, so I actually have to buy eggs. So, all right, it's been kind of hot, and they don't like to lay when it's hot, so who wants to give birth in 90-degree heat? I wouldn't every single day. Horrible. Okay, so I'm going to put this because it calls for melted butter. Don't look at the inside of my microwave. I haven't cleaned it. Okay.
You gonna dance? Why don't you sing? Or you can just pose with silly faces.
Is it pecan or pecan?
Hey, can you show me your ninja move real quick?
What?
Yeah, put the troll down.
If you say so.
Whoa.
Whoa, that was pretty. What about, you got your Jedi moves? Where's your lightsaber? Go get it.
I'll go get it.
Oh. Hey, don't scream. Your brother's sleeping. Pretty impressive moves, dude. Oh, well, we melt butter. Alright, butter's melted. Be gone.
Okay, whoops. So we're going to pour this into a 13x9 baking dish. I've sprayed it with spray. You know, the spray. The magical spray that doesn't allow things to stick to your pants. I'm going to spray like this.
Starter fluid.
Okay. So, now it says...
Don't touch. Don't touch.
A cake mix. The girl on the blog says depending on what you want, how, like the consistency you want of the cake, you can have it more custardy or more cake-like. Just depending on what your preference is. If you want it more custardy, you use less cake mix. If you want it more cake-like, you use more cake mix. You got all that?
Yeah.
So we're going to sprinkle this over. I'm not really sure how I want it. So I'm just going to kind of see what happens. So I'm using about 3/4 of the bag of cake mix. Now it calls for a cup of pecan pecans. So I'm going to, I just chopped some up and I'm gonna spread it over here like so. My family really likes pecans. So I think I'm gonna add a little bit more. Okay, so I just chopped some more pecans. We're putting them in there. Now it says to drizzle butter over the cake. Let me just make sure I'm doing this right. Sprinkle pecans, pour melted butter. Yes, okay. Pioneer woman. Thank you, Reed. All right, so now we're gonna drizzle butter. It's got butter, it's got pumpkin, it's got yellow cake mix, it's got pecans. I mean, come on. You can't get better than this. I can't wait to see how this comes out. I love trying new recipes. Excuse me. And family night is the perfect night to do it because I get multiple opinions, multiple suggestions, and, you know.
Have you ever made this one before?
Never made this before. But it's got butter and pumpkin and pecans.
You can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong. In the oven at 350, it says 60 to 70 minutes, which I am thinking is probably true because the bottom is kind of like pumpkin pie, and pies take a while to cook. So we want to make sure it cooks all through. So this is what it looks like before. We'll see y'all in a little bit and see how it turns out. Bye. Okay. I've had to put it back a few times because it wasn't ready. Watch out.
A few times, but not all the time.
So it's probably actually cooked for a total of an hour and a half-ish. So let's see. Looks good. It smells divine.
We should sample it.
The middle is still, but I think it's just the butter because I poured so much butter.
Should we sample it?
Yeah, well, of course.
Well,
So
it's not going to look as pretty tonight.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let it cool off for about 10 or 15 minutes and we'll sample it and see how it comes out, but it looks pretty good, and like I said, the smell is just wonderful. So okay, so I'm gonna try and take just a small piece. I don't want to take too much for family night. Okay, that's interesting. Let's get a fork. A little gooey, but it might supposed to be gooey because it's not exactly a cake. It's almost like a bread pudding type thing.
Your silence speaks 1,000 words.
I need another taste just to make sure. Okay. Wow. That's good. Now in the video, you're supposed to have ice cream over it, and I can totally see why. Because this deserves ice cream. This is really good. Alright. Well, the recipe was a success. And I will bring this to family night. We'll see what they think about it. Thanks for watching my very first video. I didn't dress up for you guys today because I really wasn't planning on doing a video. But hope you guys like it. And like the video, subscribe to my channel, and maybe we'll do this again. Thanks, guys.
What
Bye.
do you think, buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Bye. You say bye? Bye.